We met on eHarmony. It's true.
It's
very
true.
true.
We don't often admit it, but it is our wedding day, so we might as well admit it today.
We're not the likely candidates for online dating, but sure enough, we did it, and it was September 30th we got matched.
September 30th, 2009.
So one of the great things that I really, really love about Stacy is the fact that she's really funny and spontaneous.
TJ has a lot of great qualities. My favorite thing about him is how generous he is. I just love that quality. You just feel so safe with him.
To find a combination of somebody that is business savvy yet has a heart for generosity and reaching out to lots of people. I mean, all those things combined together just seem to overwhelm me when I used to think about her.
When I first got to know TJ, I actually thought for a while that he was that he had done enough research on me, that he was just telling me things that I wanted to hear, because everything about him was perfect.
I really wanted to get to know her more, which is one of the reasons why it took me a long time to actually ask her out on a date. That took a while.
One of the reasons I think it was okay that he didn't ask me out for so long was that we would talk for 4 hours a night, and it would go so fast.
She would have stories, I would have stories, and it almost seemed like we would try to one-up each other, and it just keeps going. I mean, even to this day, that's just what keeps it interesting. I'd never really asked, you know, a girl out before.
He never asked a girl out before,
Never,
can you believe
never.
it?
So
They always asked him out.
they always asked me, so I had told her that, and I think it was just her personal mission that she would never do it.
I could tell he was hinting, but I wouldn't give him any help.
I didn't ask her out.
Or maybe
I
we
just,
should meet. That's
yeah,
what
maybe
it was.
we should meet. Or I said something that insinuated a date, and she was just like, "No, I don't think you really asked me a question." And I said, "Okay, fine." I said, "Would you like to go out on a date?"
It was a good lie, though.
I told
It was a good
her
lie.
that my cousin from overseas was coming into town, and that I would like to take a couple of days off to show him around. Then, a week before the proposal, I told her, I said, "Hey, this business trip has come up, and I gotta go to Europe." So she comes, she picks me up, and then I tell her, I said, "Hey, why don't we go by, you know, the lake where we went to Christmas dinner and just hang out there and have breakfast before we go to the airport."
I thought it was really sweet that before he left town that he wanted to go by the lake. And we go there a lot, so didn't think anything of it. So we're walking around, and all of a sudden we sit down at this place with the fountains going, and all of a sudden in the middle, I'm not even done eating, and he just pops up and he's like, "We gotta go." And I'm like, "What? But I'm still eating. Are we really that late?" And he was like, "Come on, we need to go." And he pulls me up, and he gets this serious look on his face. Like, I'm like, "Are you okay? What's going on? What's about to happen?" And then my heart started beating, because I'm like, okay, he's acting very strangely. And so he just looks at me and he asked me to be his wife.
Yeah.
And then he got down on his knee and he pulled out the most beautiful ring ever. I love this ring. And asked me to be, and I'm in shock. And all of a sudden this guy waves from the bushes. He had a photographer there capturing every minute.
So we got back into the car, and finally when we pulled up to the curb, I had her pull up to the curb, and I just handed the papers to her, and you know, she starts looking at the papers and she's getting all confused, because really it was her boarding pass to go to Hawaii with me.
I read American Airlines, Stacy Long, and I'm like, what? This should be your boarding pass. And then I look at the second page, it says, you know, Sujit Varghese, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And then I'm still confused, can't figure it out. And then I see the words that will change my life, Honolulu. And I was like, oh, is this a joke? This has got to be a joke. And he's like, we're going on a trip. And I realized that I had 5 days off, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
So
and so
awesome.
that was the investment into the proposal.